Okay, got that started. QUBT is kind of flattened out right now. Again, I took profits in that already. Right now it's very flat. Triple Qs with a little bit of a breakup above the VWAP. Will it last? Who knows? SPY also with a little bit of a move above the VWAP. Watching Nvidia trying to get to the VWAP. Palantir moving up a little bit. Just not an awful lot to choose from right now. Again, Costco looked good, but kind of flattened right now. Walmart was good, but it ran right into the entrance to a gap fill. And so did QUBT, by the way. QUBT, which is when I exited the trade, I was mentioning that this gap fill right here. If I go back and look here, gap fill's way back here, but it's noticed it's never been able to get into the gap fill and stay there. And that gap fill becomes resistance, all right? Because people that were along the stock here at that gap fill, when it comes back up to it again, they bail it to break even. So you get a bunch of resistance there. But it's very strong today. And I think for a longer term, it's probably going to go into this gap at some point. But you'd want to see it close inside that gap before you would take it for long. That gap goes from about it's about $3 gap. So a little bit of a move in the SPY here now. Triple Qs as well. Apple taking a bounce here. Tesla making a nice move. Tesla is a decent move up right there. Whether it continued today, I don't know. This is very low probability trading environment. The volume is low today on the SPY, really low. Still holding support at 590.49. SPY 590.49 is support on the SPY. So it's holding that today. It fell through it for a brief time. Now it's got room to 594.72 if we get any kind of a rally. Again, I'm still in this NVIDIA spec trade. It's moving up a little bit, but it still hasn't gotten through the VWAP here. And QUBT just hanging right around the 1250 level. Welcome to the YouTube viewers. Sorry I got started a little late this morning. I forgot. I was answering a lot of questions here this morning. See how Palantir's doing. It's trying to bounce back up. It's gone green now for the day. That's good. SPY, after a little bit of a nice move up, starting to pull back again. Again, it just isn't, there isn't a lot to lean on here today. NVIDIA trying to get through the VWAP, hadn't been able to get through it yet. Apple popped up and now it's pulling back down again. Just very little going on. UBT. Again, I took nice profits in that one. It's still just moving right around 1250. Hasn't moved much. Pretty slow day so far. Really no direction in the market. A little bit of a gap up in the open, and chop, chop, chop. A little pullback and a nice move up, and still just not. We haven't really gone anywhere. SPY's up 0.14%. Pretty much nothing. Qs are up 0.08%. Pretty dead day, really. Tesla's moved down, moved up. It's gone. It's 347 is a support level on Tesla. 347. There's no trades here that are decent. It just market's just not doing anything. Yeah, nothing going on here. Very, very dead market. Slightly green, very slight. I mean, this is really flat. The Qs are up 0.03%. SPYs up 0.1%. Russell 2000, the IWM, up a little bit more, 0.23%. Dead market. Hard to find anything to trade. Had this QUBT that I took today on the strangle. It worked out really nicely. Get in at 60 cents, get out at 80 cents. And that was from a caller, a member of the room. I appreciate that. Other than that, there hasn't been an awful lot to trade. Really nothing. I'm sure people are finding some stuff to trade, but I don't see anything yet I want to trade. Globe on earnings, big drop down on earnings, bouncing back up a little bit. Coming up on 12 o'clock. Very, very dead day. We had some tradable stuff yesterday. Today there really just is not much to trade at all. Tesla looked like it might be one this morning on a gap up, but just doing nothing. 347 is the support level on it. It's right at it. SPY with a little bounce up here. This is just red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green, just chopping around. Again, no market, there's just nothing to trade here for most of these stocks right now. Very, very slow day. SPY continuing to creep up here. Resistance on the SPY on the daily right now. Again, the support was at 590.50. 590.50. So about a buck above that, with room to 594.72 as far as the horizontal support and resistance levels are concerned, based on high volume. So we've got a little bit of room on the SPY to the upside, but it's just not doing much. There's just no force in this market at all, and there's no volume either. So it could go back and forth all day, all afternoon. We'll see. MSTR made a nice little bounce after trying to catch up with the other cryptos. It was down this morning when cryptos were all up. Coin up beautifully today. A big move up in coin. After that pullback based on the news that they had a bunch of user information stolen, and they were also being looked into for their basically telling stockholders that they had more users than they actually had. who knows whether any of that's true or not, but that's the news that came out yesterday. But it certainly recovered today. It's up over 10% after falling pretty hard yesterday. And most of the Bitcoin stocks are up pretty nicely. MSTR was down this morning. It's now up 1.67%. Big bounce in MSTR. NVIDIA, the spec trade that we talked about yesterday, going not doing nothing here. And again, Palantir, which we've got next week's debit spread on this, just kind of moving sideways, just like the rest of the market is pretty much. Shy, kind of like Carvana for a CDS for next week. Yeah, I mean, it's sitting right on it bounced right off the 295 level this morning, up to 6301 right now. Yeah, that's probably not. I mean, it's definitely a bullish setup. So that's not a bad trade on that one. I don't know what it'll cost, but yeah, that's not bad. UNH breaking down. Big surprise. Yeah, it's breaking down from a recovery yesterday. Put in a big hammer bar yesterday. Right here, UNH. Big hammer bar yesterday. After this huge gap down, big hammer bar starting to break down. It moved up a little bit above yesterday's open, but it's pulling back again. I'm not touching this thing. Humana probably going through the same kind of gyrations here. It's up pretty good today, actually. Yeah, again, another hammer yesterday. This is all of that prescription drug news on these stocks. It's no place I want to be. All right, yep. Today's market is led by the S. Yeah, I got a lot of S's in there. I won't read them all, but schizo, suicidal, sideways, I like all those. Sucky is right. It sucks. Very bearish on the stock, William. Yeah, you took the 270 puts. Okay, good luck to you. I mean, yeah, it's definitely bearish. I mean, but you know that recovery yesterday was pretty dramatic, and I just don't trust it. It's obviously news driven, but I don't know where you are, if you're on it today or if that's out in time a little bit. It's fine, moving up now. Q's also. NVIDIA not doing much of anything. Palantir, up 27 cents. Again, that's a next week trade, so I'm not going to worry too much about that today. TQUBT, since after we took that this morning, got a nice move in it. See how it's just compressed now? So this is not a good setup for a strangle or a straddle when you get this sideways movement. This morning we had some nice price movement in this thing, and again I made some good money on that strangle that was recommended by one of the members in the room. I get in 60 out for 80, so I mean that's pretty good. It's about 33% gain in a short period of time, but right now it's not doing anything. Quarter past 12. Market trying to make a little bit of a move up here today, but not impressive yet. SPY with a little pop here. I'm gonna take a lunch about 12:30. Pats Nation, yeah, I talked about HEI this morning. Yeah, you were talking about basically a breakout over compression, and what to do if the next morning it breaks out through the compression. How do you trade something like that? And what I said was, of course, that if it gaps, it depends on what the breakout's like. If it's too big a gap up, then you wait for a pullback. And this morning was on HEI. You have a break of the compression. But it didn't really break. It opened right about at the close yesterday, so that's a good setup. HEI is a good setup for a long. Here it is right here. All right, so here's HEI right here, and you can see the close yesterday and the open today pretty close. And if we switch over to the 5-minute chart, all right, so here's the open this morning, right here. Kind of chops around and then it breaks out. So this was a nice breakout point to get into that trade early on today, because you didn't have a big gap to deal with. All right, and if you look at the Fibonacci candles here on the 5-minute chart, you see how you started with right back here. Let's go back. Okay, so here's the open this morning. Here's a nice Fibonacci reversal right there. Could have been one before that too. Yeah, there was one at 9:45. Anywhere in here would have been a good trade, a good place to enter the trade. It's a nice long. It's a very nice long. And that breakout right there. So that's what I was saying. That was a decent one because you didn't gap too high. If you gap way up, then you've got to wait for a pullback to support. Otherwise, you're going to end up chasing. Okay, I hope that helps a little bit, Pats Nation. I was born and raised just out of Boston, so I was a big Patriots fan at the time. SPY moving up, a little bit of a big wick there. Two looking exactly the same. by creeping up. Not much. Nvidia doing nothing here. Netflix doing nothing much. Tesla, nothing much. It's okay, a low. Coming off a low here. This SMR also up to just a bit, but pulled back. That's when we traded the other day for a nice profit. But since we get out of it, it's moved up yesterday, and then today another nice little move on it. Decent move on SMR. SPY still easing up here. 592.28 high for the day. Up about 0.3% now. So we get a little bit of a move in the SPY. It seems to be a lot of red candles interrupting this move, but it is creeping up a little bit. Q's a little bit flatter. Q's are up just 0.14%. IWM up 0.5%, 0.5%. IWM leading the indexes today. QUPT, you can see still just moving sideways. QA 3M looks pretty good for a long. Yeah, it's having a nice day today. About 2%. Yeah, it does look good. It's got horizontal resistance at 155, about $2.80 away. But yeah, it's a nice breakout on 3M. Industrials have been pretty good today, actually. Costco's still looking pretty good here. UNH bounced up pretty strongly here. Just bounced about $8. All right, I'm going to get ready to take lunch here in just a couple minutes as we watch the market just turn around. I haven't really done much today. I took that QUBT earlier this morning, got in for a strangle, get in at 60, out at 80. Notice how it's flattened out here. This is not a good price action to look for a straddle or a strangle. You want to see some price action. You want to see it moving one way or the other. This is just moving flat. Compression like that is not good for straddles and strangles, especially on a Friday when you don't have any overnight gaps to help you. Again, this NVIDIA doesn't look like it's going to do anything here today. Market's moving up, NVIDIA's not doing anything. It's got relative weakness to the market. Tesla doing nothing as well. All right, let me check, see if we get any more questions, and I'll go ahead and get some lunch. I've got a few here. Couple questions here. Shy IWM right against the SMA. Yeah, I saw that. Right against it. It's wrong. Is there a place that you can get the recordings of the full live streams that we do? Yeah, I mean, if you they're in the if you remember in the room. I know they're actually archived. And I can see them in the webinar archives. I'm not sure if the members can get to them or not. You'd have to ask Rory about that. I'm not sure. I can see them, and if you want one on a particular day, but I mean, they're very long. I mean, they're all day long. They go for hours and hours. Yeah, they are recorded. I'm not sure how we get to them. Regarding the straddles and strangle pricing, if you buy one on Monday, won't be getting it for 60% of the ATR. Be difficult since it still has Friday to work. No, not necessarily. No, it won't be. If the pricing is right, it won't make a difference. The thing is, you've got a lot more time on that, on a straddle or a strangle. But no, you can still get it for 60% of the ATR, 50% of the ATR. Yeah, I mean, I've taken them on Monday quite a bit. Typically, I wait till a little bit later in the week, but you can do them on Mondays. And I mean, yeah, the premiums are going to be higher because they've got more time in them, so it makes them a little bit more expensive. But the price moves can be obviously you've got more time for it to move more. Because remember, when you look at an ATR, that's an ATR per day. So if you're looking from Monday to Friday, you're talking about ATR over the whole week. So no, I do them on Mondays. I still get filled on them. You have to find the individual trades that work, of course. Nicholas, hello. Which systems indicator do I use? My main system is this right here. This is a SPY Super System right here. This is a piece of software that you buy and put on a Thinkorswim. You don't have to trade on Thinkorswim, but you put it on the Thinkorswim platform. And you buy it from Rightline, and they'll put it on there for you. They'll take over your machine. You can install Thinkorswim for free. They'll put it on there. It looks just like this. The reason I use this is because it tells me what the institutions are doing as close as you can find out. And again, we have current time frame momentum, multi-time frame momentum, long-term trend. We just got colors here. Blue is blue and green are bullish, red and yellow are bearish. On a 5-minute chart, you're trading off of this. If you're trading daily, you want the current time frame momentum and the multi-time frame momentum to be lined up. You want them to both be green or blue for long, red or yellow for short, and then the long-term trend. So I use those, and then on the 5-minute charts, I use the VWAP and the 15 EMA. And if you come into the room, you sign up as a member, you'll get, I have videos on all of these and how you use them. And I use TC2000 for my charting. And again, there's a lot of indicators that are out there. I use on the daily chart I use the 50, the 100, and the 200 SMA, the 8 and the 15 EMA. That's all I use for that. And then I have horizontal support and resistance levels that I actually manually draw on charts based on high volume candles. You don't want me to stop helping the community? I'm happy to help as much as I can. UNH with a big pop here. It just ran up from 269 to 285. Good Lord. That's, again, I don't trust these stocks. I don't want to be involved in anything that's got so newsy and so volatile right now. That's why I'm staying away from them. Obviously, it's bearish on the daily chart, but I don't trust them at all. Oh, it's just mentioned on CNBC, Ari. Okay. So there you go. It's just mentioned on CNBC, so all the algos come in, all the people listening to CNBC come in. Probably be a good place to short it up here then. I don't listen to CNBC, so it might have been in my news feed though. Oh, insider purchases, and yes, I see that Stephanie Link on CNBC added UNH to her name. She typically trades value stocks, which is a little hard to believe that that's a value stock. Dow Jones Industrial is high of the day, by the way, in case anybody follows the 30 stocks. I don't. It's a value stock, Larry. Yeah, I guess you could look at it because it's so low price, but it just, there's so much uncertainty around that thing. Harry points out that he's been in the medical field his whole life, and he can say that health insurers will always thrive. Yeah, well, I'm sure they will, and they have, but certain ones are going to do better than others. If you're getting investigated for fraud, you probably don't want to be in that stock. But there's a lot of others that you can be. Humana went down pretty hard the other day too, and has bounced up. But there's a lot of healthcare stocks, obviously. Yeah, they'll thrive at the expense of everyone else, of course. SPY kind of flattening out a little bit here now. All right, I'm gonna get some lunch. It's 12:45. Yeah, I'm pretty hungry. So again, I'm gonna go ahead and shut down the YouTube feed. Thanks everybody on YouTube. I appreciate the questions out there. Appreciate you coming in and watching. You can always join my room over here at the SPY Super System Options Room. Again, it's under rightlinetrading.com, and there's you just find the options trading, and you'll find my room and my alert service, and the software as well. The software is really very, very. This thing is such a great piece of software for traders to make sure that they're in trades that the institutions are in. Really, it's a way overlooked, something that most retail traders don't have. So it gives us an edge on them, and we also trade relative strength and relative weakness, which is another thing that most retail traders don't even understand. That's not RSI, that's how stocks trade, how the stock is trading versus the SPY or the Qs. Is it outperforming it or underperforming it? It gives you it increases your edge on a trade. All right, I'm gonna have a get some lunch here, and I'll be back again just a little bit. So Ryan, you're talking about if the ATR is 3, then you're looking at 60% of a $15 move. No. You don't. You just look at the premium relative to the ATR. In other words, if the ATR is 3, you want to get into that. You want to get into that strangle for somewhere around $2, maybe $2.40, something like that, or less. Straddle pricing should be it's not. It shouldn't be based on the number of days to expiration. Absolutely not, because you're going to be overpaying for it. No, it has to be based on the ATR, not an accumulation of the ATR. Yes, it's supposed to be proportional to the ATR for one day, not for the week. You don't add up the ATRs. The ATRs, just because it has a $3 ATR. Doesn't mean it's going to move $15 in a week. It can move $3 each day, up and down, up and down, up and down. Lulu's in a gap shy. Okay, thank you very much. $10 to the upside. Yep, see it. I got some horizontal resistance at 326.36. But again, the gap fill is around 334. Yeah, 334. But there's another line further out than the gap where the gap was. There's some resistance there, so there's a couple of them stuck in the middle of the gap. The gap doesn't necessarily not have horizontal resistance level in it. It can. Do I have a futures trading room for 2-week trial? I don't. I don't trade necessarily futures. You can trade futures. I mean, off the SPY Super System, you can trade futures off a 5-minute chart or a 1-minute chart. We have a trader that has 2 trades that have a futures room from Rightline. Craig Emery has a one that he runs in the morning, I think from about 9 o'clock on, and then David Kushner has one that he runs from I think 9 to 11. Those are all based on futures. Again, if I trade futures, I can trade them over here. I don't usually only trade futures in the evening, but I don't. This isn't necessarily a futures room, but there's nothing that says I can't. If you've got the software, there's nothing that says you can't put the ES in there and trade the ES off of the indicators right here on the ES, because it works the same way. You see that how this went from red to blue here and then to green, and as it broke above the VWAP right here, that's a long entry on the ES off of the SPY Super System right there. And then it needs to stay above the VWAP and then above the 15 as the price moves up. So this would have been a decent trade right there. You've got a lot of chop in there, but that's how you can trade futures off of this. It doesn't really make any difference what you're trading. As long as you can put the symbol in here, you're going to get the same kind of information. You can see that the Qs did the same thing. The NQ is the NQ, but where you would take it here, this is a much choppier. You see this break above the VWAP right here, but see how it went right back down below the VWAP. You would have had to be out. So this didn't work as well as the ES, but the momentum is still good in it. But the Qs are up 0.19% right now on the /ES. Whoops. /ES. Yeah, up about 0.3%. So the ES is outperforming the SPY, the Qs. Again, I use the SPY in the triple Qs, but you can use you can do with this software. You can trade either with a Ninja with the other two fellas, or you can trade in here in my room. And this room's open all day, and of course I can answer questions all day long on this kind of stuff. You don't understand options? Can I hook you up with the futures room? Yeah, I mean, I can do that. I mean, you can trade futures here just as well, because you can just buy the futures. What you're talking about is buying. If you're on Thinkorswim, you can buy the futures. You can buy them just like you would anywhere else. But yeah, if you just call that number I just posted there, right, 786-732-4656, and tell them what you want, and they'll hook you up. All right, I think I've answered the questions. I'm going to get some lunch. Let me make sure I've answered them all.
A scalping strategy. We want to learn to trade options, but just don't know where to start. Yeah, it can be a little tricky. I have videos on basic options and how to use them, and I go over them in quite a bit of detail every day in the room as far as why we're taking specific options. There's a lot of different strategies that are based on options. CBOE, the website for CBOE has a lot of good information on options. It takes a little bit of time to learn. And that's one of the things I try to do in the room is help people learn how to trade options, because frankly trading stock is fine, trading futures is fine, but the thing with trading options on stocks that you can judge relative strength and relative weakness. You've got two things. You've got a stock that's got relative strength or relative weakness to the market, which increases your edge, and you're using options, which is increasing your leverage. But there is a lot of, it's not like trading stocks. It's a little bit different. And again, I talk about that in the room, and I have some videos on that you can look at. Yeah, it can be tricky. I know. Trading options takes a little bit of experience, but you have to start somewhere at some point. You can paper trade this stuff all day long, so you can do this without risking any money. All right, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and close down the YouTube room. Again, I put Rory's number in there for anybody who wants to talk about getting the software, getting a subscription to my room, and the alerts that comes with the alert service. Or if you want to talk to him about potentially joining a room to trade futures. So get a couple of those that he can go over with you as well. So give him a call, and he loves to talk to everybody. Looking at SMR here, I want to show something. This is when we took this trade. Let's go back to when we took it. We took it on SMR. Took it right here on the 13th. It was earnings there. This was the 13th. This is where we took it. And that's why. You see this? See how this went from yellow to green?
Okay, let me go ahead and close down the YouTube room, then I'll go ahead and get some lunch. Thanks everybody from the YouTube room. I appreciate your being here today. Have a great weekend, please have an enjoyable weekend, and come back on Monday. I'll be here about between 11:15 or so. Got started a little late by mistake this morning, but we'll see everybody then, and enjoy your weekend, and the best of luck trading.